He's gonna be upset.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another Marriage Mondays where we spend Mondays talking about marriage. My name's Amir.
My name is Kamara.
And today we're going to talk about common misconceptions people have towards arranged marriages. Question of the week. What do you think about arranged marriages?
Would you ever get in one, or you just don't trust the people who would arrange it for you? Comment in the section below. If you've been following our channel for a while, at least 2 years when we started Marriage Monday, you would know that we had an arranged marriage. So we're going to kind of dive in and talk about why these misconceptions are true. First things first, arranged marriages are awkward and uncomfortable.
I'd say yes.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the situation where in some cultures you're like, the arranged marriage is when you're first born, right? And so you've actually, so like you kind of grow to have some sort of relationship with this person. Now, if you've never liked that person, then obviously it's not awkward. It just sucks.
There's no connection. I mean, for us, I definitely think it was awkward because
we didn't know each other as well.
Yeah. In arranged marriage, you are taken for granted. That depends if you marry like a douchey person or not. You know,
yeah, I think if someone's gonna take you for granted, they're gonna take you for granted whether you are good to them or not. So it doesn't matter.
Wait, whether you're good to them or not, you mean like whether you've gotten you?
I mean, so if someone's taking you for granted, that means that they're not being appreciative.
Yeah, and they're saying it's because you're in a arranged marriage that people do this.
No, like I said,
regardless
of if you're good to them or not, some people just aren't appreciative. Some people aren't appreciative of their parents. So if they're not appreciative of their parents, what makes you think that you're going to be appreciated?
Ooh, that's true. So it has nothing to do with the arranged marriage. Arranged marriages are hard to adjust into. I think marriages in general are hard to adjust into, like especially as like Muslims, when you live apart, you don't have like this period where you're living together before marriage. So it's like you never lived with this person before. It's going to be an adjustment, and I guess the difficulty level depends on the two people, not really on whether or not their marriage was arranged. Because you don't really know a person until you move in with them. So it doesn't matter how long you've been talking for, like, it's going to be an adjustment.
People are definitely going to be somewhat different when you're living with them. So it's really difficult to gauge a person to that effect.
There is no falling head over heels. So, like, I guess I would say, like, love at first sight.
Yeah.
Which for me, I would say that's false, because when I first saw Amir, I knew I was going to marry him. I was like, that's my husband. That's the man I'm going to marry. We get married right now.
I've just never been one to fall head over heels for anyone. So,
you can't even pretend for me. Oh my God, babe.
So,
wow. Talk about loving somebody more than they love you. Wow.
Falling head over heels is probably just something that happens with certain people, and that it doesn't happen with others.
Okay, I guess it's person. When I say head over heels, I don't mean like an obsession type thing, but when I say head over heels, I mean like that connection.
Yeah.
So, are you saying there was no connection?
I mean, there's a connection with anytime you marry someone, hopefully, but.
And that's what they're saying. Like with arranged marriage, you're saying there's not that connection.
No, it's saying falling head over heels for someone, which is much different than having a connection, right? Like if you meet someone on a subway.
Okay, so this is what the thing says. Okay, having like like looking at them and having like butterflies in your stomach, like being a little nervous.
Listen, if you've met someone and you've talked to them for a long period of time, you're not going to have butterflies in your stomach.
Lies! I had butterflies in my stomach every time we met.
No, I'm saying I'm saying it's saying that she wouldn't fall head over heels, right? Which means having butterflies in your stomach for some reason. But what I'm saying is if you had known someone for a long period of time, you're not going to have butterflies and those feelings in your stomach just because you're getting married to them.
I disagree, but okay. Next one. There is no romance in arranged setup. If a person is a romantic, is it a romantic or romance? Romantic. That's what they call it, right?
A romantic person.
Yeah. But there's like anyway. So if a person's all about romance, they're going to be all about romance whether they you know, we're in an arranged marriage or not. If you don't have a person that's really like lovey-dovey romance, you're not going to have romance like that.
Yeah.
It's a personality thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it has nothing to do with the marriage being arranged. It's just.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I know a lot of guys because I'm a guy myself, and everyone has their own way of showing their affection and being what people call romantic.
Let him bite you.
Isn't necessarily what everyone isn't necessarily who they are, you know, or how they choose to show their affection.
Babe, let him bite you.
No.
Yeah, he wants to bite you. See? You're forced into it. Now, I mean, arranged marriage doesn't mean like a forced marriage, but were we forced to marry each other? No. Were we forced to meet each other? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely some type of forcing going on. Not all the time.
I feel like it's more so a very strong suggestion. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
Yeah. The person you're marrying is extremely unattractive.
I mean, for some people that could be a reality. You know, if you're, hey, yeah, it's just a fact. You know,
it's not a fact.
Misconception is, I mean, just because you're having an arranged marriage does not mean that person is going to be unattractive.
You made him mad. Put your finger back there.
Yeah. Just because you've had an arranged marriage does not imply that
your potential's going to be ugly.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I got a pretty good looking wife.
Like my husband, my goodness, like mashallah.
Alhamdulillah, you know, Allah has blessed me.
So I would say that's definitely false.
Blessed us.
If someone comes to you talking about, hey, I have somebody for you, don't automatically assume they're going to be unattractive. Mm-hmm. Especially if the person knows your type. The person you're marrying is an old rich guy. That's false.
Yeah, I'm not old and I'm not rich. So, next.
I mean, it could be. You could end up marrying an old rich guy. Mm-hmm. But that's a false misconception about arranged marriages. Oh, another one. You're marrying your cousin. I see in some cultures how arranged marriages are usually your cousin because it's being arranged. So I would say that's true.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but like for the most part, I would say it's pretty high.
Yeah.
If you have an arranged marriage, it's going to be your cousin. The marriage is going to be miserable.
No, not. In some cases, you can have very
miserable moments.
Yeah, you can have and some. So like a marriage can be great and a marriage can be miserable, right? Mm-hmm. And just because your marriage has been arranged, I don't think will be the reason why your marriage is miserable.
There's not a correlation between those things. Let him chew on your finger.
Yeah, so I wouldn't draw a correlation between arranged marriages and miserable marriages.
Yeah. So, okay, next one. You will be forced to reproduce. I think the pressure of having kids is in almost every marriage, you know. There's always someone asking you, when are you going to have a baby, when are you going to have a baby, when are you going to have a baby. It has nothing to do with whether your marriage was arranged or not. Unless your marriage was arranged just so you could have a kid, then yeah, that's totally going to happen. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Last one. Your marriage will end in divorce. So the divorce rate amongst, I would say in the U.S. is what, like 50% of marriages end in divorce?
Yeah, so regardless of whether your marriage is arranged or not, you know, you're just as likely to, you know, get divorced as you are to flip a coin, heads or tails. So, you know, just do your best to maintain your relationship, and you know, inshallah, you'll have a good relationship. And I think that what's important is that you try to fight through the hard times. You don't cheat, and you keep your marriage interesting.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm. I guess we could do Marriage Monday. How to keep your marriage interesting. Once we figure out how to do that. Cause
once we figure out how.
Our life is so blah.
Yeah, it is.
I think people assume that arranged marriages will end in divorce because, like, typically the couple, they won't know each other as well as what they call, like, love marriages. So, I mean, which is true, you don't know them as well, so you don't know if you are compatible, but at the same time, you don't have this, like, image of someone, you know? Like, you spend years talking to somebody, you're gonna create this image in your head of what they're really like, you know? And then with an arranged marriage, and if you speak for, you know, pretty brief period of time, it's like that image is not as like strong as it would be. So you're not caught off guard. You're not like caught up with all these surprises about their personality because you're like, oh, this is who you are, instead of saying like, oh my God, I had no idea you were like this. I could have sworn you were somebody else. So until next week, inshallah, no promises. Not gonna lie to y'all.
Yeah. Comment, like, subscribe.